Well, hi guys, it's me, Alex, from Dispatch Training Center, and I can tell you this, I missed so much seeing you in my classes, and I cannot wait for our new dispatch training, which starts on this upcoming Saturday. Well, since we were taking a little break and we kind of off the schedule from our weekly lives on YouTube, our Facebook streams, I really would like to catch up on some important things. So I receive bunch of text messages. I receive questions on TikTok. I receive questions on YouTube, and I would like to see if we can together answer some common questions and see what is trucking industry about. And we're gonna look probably at the view of dispatchers first because that's our main kind of educational goal. We are here to improve your dispatching skills. We are here to make sure that you have a strong foundation, and of course we are here to make sure that together we change trucking for the better. Well, before we're gonna go, guys, make sure you like, comment, share, and of course, ask questions. So first, I'm gonna go through questions which I already kind of put together from people who've been sending them on my media. And then, if you have something that you still concerned about, or maybe you are lost, or maybe you just need some advice, please put it in the comments and I will answer them. So let's start from the first question. And the first question, of course, and we've been repeating this over and over and over. Do I need to have a certificate to become a dispatcher? Do I need to have some kind of license to become a dispatcher, trucking dispatcher? We're not talking about air dispatcher, 911 dispatcher. We are talking about dispatchers who are dispatching trucks in the USA. Different type of trucks, right? We're talking about semi trucks, we're talking about sprinters, box trucks. So it doesn't matter what kind of trailer do you have, but we are considered the freight dispatchers. We're not the brokers, we're not the carriers, we are dispatchers. So as of now, we are not required to have any special education. But let's back up. Should you actually take some trainings? Should you learn something before you start claiming, I am the best dispatcher, I am going to charge you 10% or 15%? Come on, make sure you pay me right away. Well, is this the right way to come into trucking industry? And people who follow me, you guys know for a fact that no, it's not the right way. Trucking industry is very complex. Trucking industry is challenging. First of all, the USA as a country is a huge country. We need to know the geography. We need to know the routes. We need to know the cost of the tolls. We need to know the seasons, right? This is just like a basic ABCs of basic knowledge for future dispatchers. Then we need to understand type of equipment, right? So we need to know what is the difference between dry van, between van air ride, between vented van, heated van. What is the reefer? What does it mean downloadable TRU? What is the difference between step deck, flatbed? How big is it? What sizes do we have, right? Do we have only 53, 48, 26, or do we have sizes in between? Or maybe it's not that important because I'm here. I'm a big shot. I'm dispatcher. I'm just going to pick up the phone, ask how much, and I am going to agree probably even without negotiations because I'm so stressed out to ask extra question, and that's it. And only thing I have to worry about how they going to pay me my dispatch fee. Sounds like phone calls you are getting, guys. Sounds like some dispatchers that you are having. Probably we have 50% of those dispatchers in the USA market, unfortunately. But we are asking question how to become a pro dispatcher. So as a certificate or license is not mandatory, it's not required, but I strongly suggest you to take classes. I'm not here to advertise my classes. My classes, my reviews, the way I've been teaching already speaks for itself. But a lot of people are asking me, is live training more effective than pre-recorded sessions? As many of you know, I've been struggling to put my pre-recording classes online, not because I did not finish them. No, they already finished. Because me personally, I do believe in live training. Why do I believe that it's more effective than pre-recorded? Well, first, because in a live classes, which for some people not easy to take, because we all learn differently. We have a different way of gathering information. We have a different way of observing information. We sometimes shy, or sometimes the live classes, they're long, they're 4.5 hours long, so some people don't have patience, right? So they usually go for the options of pre-recorded. But you have to remember, market changes every day. Market changes even from the morning till the night. So if you are not taking live classes, let's say some of trucking gurus, they pre-recorded classes 5 years ago, 4 years ago, even the information and examples which they are giving, well, doesn't make sense anymore, right? Because nowadays market is so low. So if you sitting there and listening to the phone conversation, even on my YouTube, right? If you listen to my phone conversation 2 years ago, right, that pushy direct, getting all that money, right, sassy dispatch girl, well, now market is low, now I have to kind of kiss their little butts to get extra $200-300. Different totally. Secondary, in the live classes, you have a chance to ask questions. Also, you kind of meeting other people. And a lot of times, this is empowering you. Well, if other 30 people are here studying, if other 25 people are finishing homework on time, if other 35 people making the phone calls and they are not terrified, well, I can do it. So psychologically, taking live classes, it helps you. But also, it's up to you. Only you know how you like to learn. Only you know your habits. The only thing I can tell you this, if you ever gonna sign up for my classes, by the way, our next class starts on Saturday, so you have 2 more days. And it's kind of the last minute. I don't like that. But you have 2 more days to register. You have to be ready for giving all in. I'm going to give you all in, but you have to give me even more. You have to finish homework. You have to finish quizzes. You do have to pay attention. I will be calling your names. I will be putting you on the spot, and you will be under Alex's pressure. If you've been reading the reviews while or watching how we do the live sessions, you probably see, right? Big boys, 35 years old, 45, they are stressed out, they are sweating, but under the pressure, that's when you finish all that foundation and you start putting it to the practical skills. Unfortunately, I do not have a luxury to make it associate program. If I would be able to have this class for 6 months, 2-3 times a week, of course, guys, we would master it in details. We would master all the little tiny things, but we need to make sure that we have enough information. We need to make sure that you watch me doing this. You need to do this. So that's why, one more time, is live training more effective than pre-recording sessions? My opinion, yes, it is, but everybody has their own opinion. So it's up to you what you choose. As of now, I do not have pre-recorded classes. We're going to be launching them in July. And our pre-recorded class is going to have an option. After you finish pre-recorded classes, you can purchase that practical sessions. So if you're a student who don't have time, maybe on Saturdays or any other circumstances, you can finish all the quizzes, you can get all the information, all the homework. And if you decide to have the practical session, would be extra cost for you if that's what you need. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you're gonna go to the company and they're gonna teach you right there. Okay, let's go to the next question. Is it possible for me to work as a dispatcher in a foreign country? Well, yes, it is possible. Outsourcing in the last decade, in the last 20 years, got big in every industry. Outsourcing in trucking is actually probably, I would say, 40 to 50% nowadays. With a low market, a lot of companies actually got back to the USA dispatchers because they need people who have a little bit more knowledge, who live in this country. But is it possible to work as a dispatcher in a foreign country? Yes, it is. For example, we have a lot of people who organize independent dispatch services, right, in a different countries. Let's say in Moldova, let's say in Bulgaria, let's say in Czech Republic, in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, Philippines, Colombia, Mexico, and I'm just naming, guys. We have a lot of outsourcing for dispatch services. So usually if that's somebody organized as dispatch service, you go and you work as employee. You're not really an independent dispatcher. So you do have a sales team there. They get the carriers, right, from the USA, and you actually dispatching them in the office. But the question is, can I just be my own boss and I live in a different country? Again, you will need to have strong foundation. You will need to understand how to use load boards, how to read the market, how to negotiate, how to be that salesperson, right? Because do you think that carrier is gonna just fall out of the sky and say, "Oh, Alex, you know what? I want you to be my dispatcher." No, it is a business, guys. Now you will need to become that business person who going and to find the clients, right? So carrier, this is your client, right? You a dispatcher, you're gonna provide service. You want to be a big boss? Go ahead. Start doing what? Emails, calls, maybe belong to all the groups on a Facebook, right? In the USA. Start answering the questions, start making the connection. Well, like any other business, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have other social media platforms. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible, like in any other industry. So hopefully you guys understand that it is possible. Well, definitely you need connection as a dispatcher outside to the USA. I am, guys, looking to my TikTok because unfortunately StreamYard only lets me go directly on Facebook, my group, and YouTube. I wish they would connect TikTok as well. So this way I could have, and Instagram, that would be great. So this way I could stream to all the platforms. Okay, so I will check the questions too. If you can write them, guys, I am interested to take the class. Can you please send me the link and the price for the class? Again, guys, you can find us. The next one starts on June 17th, this Saturday. And you can go to learndispatchtoday.com. You can also click on my profile in TikTok and it's gonna take you to our site. But let's continue with the questions. Okay. So we answer is it possible to work outside of the USA? Okay. Here is another question. I need guidance on the appropriate fee to charge for dispatching trucks. In my class, some students, even before they learn stuff, they're like, Alex, how much should I charge? What is it fair? How I am gonna get paid? So well, let's think about it. This is independent business, right? Well, it's the same if you ask me, Alex, how much should you charge for your classes? Well, it's up to me to set the price. It's what I value my knowledge, my expertise, what that makes sense for me financially. If I spend so much energy, resources, so the price can range even for the classes, right? Some people give classes for 9,900, some people give classes for 4,000. So As a business, well, nobody can dictate me how much I can charge, right? So for me personally, my classes for dispatch is $9.49, and those are 6 classes, and they're live. They're live classes, guys. So that's why you can find an option for cheaper classes but pre-recorded. We already seen the difference. Well, I spend way more energy in the classes, right? So I actually have to be present. I have to make sure I monitor your homework, I answer your questions, I do practical sessions, which included in that price. So this is already priceless. I can tell you this: nobody on the USA market is doing that, unless maybe somebody start kind of improving their dispatch training and add practical sessions. Guys, this is the key for you to ever make it to be a dispatcher. With a strong foundation, but without making at least 1, 2, 3 phone calls, without hearing what's going on exactly today on the market, let me be honest with you, it's going to be very hard for you first to talk to that carrier, right? So before you're going to decide how much you're going to charge, let's go back to being professional. Let's figure out what can you offer them. Do you have knowledge? Do you know how to do you know the terminology? Do you know the different equipment? Did you go on a safer? Did you find them? Did you check how long they've been in business? How old is their MC? What is their safety? Because it also makes a big difference. Let's give the example. Me dispatching somebody who been in the business for 2, 3, 4 years with a good safety. Well, let's say they have one truck, but if they have a good safety, the good guy, MC is at least year and a half with inspection, well, it's going to be easier for me. It depends also on the area. It depends on equipment. Well, let's say he's a drive-in. Well, I would start him, and my dispatch fees are from 7 to 8%. Well, let's say he's a step deck and he wants to do all the partials and he has so many different things. I am not gonna tarp, I am not gonna take heavy load, I'm not gonna go here, I'm not gonna go there, and he has all this list. Well, personally for me, I would not even give him a chance to work with me. But let's say, well, this is a different dispatch, right? Picky owner operator, all of these restrictions, and an easy guy. Well, so that guy probably is, I will charge my 8 and 9%. Let's say with my knowledge, I also can offer them safety and compliance. Well, if I'm going to do their safety, compliance, their IFTA, I can charge it separately, or I can say, well, you paying me 10%, and that's going to include all your safety, your hiring, your IFTA, UCRs, 2290, anything you need, it will be included. Is that really smart for carrier? Well, not really. You'd better pay me separately, guys. Again, you'd better pay me separately, because if I only have to do 4 times a year, UCRs once a year, clearinghouse maybe also once a year, your annual query. So if you are small carrier, safety you should just pay per whatever task I am doing, right? Well, now we're talking about people who just finished, they have no experience. Can you charge the same? Or should you just charge whatever you feel? One more time, if you're a great salesperson and somebody is willing to pay you 10, 15%, well, go ahead and charge it. Do I think it's a fair and honest at this market and being a service? Well, I don't think it's too high. But a lot of trucking gurus disagree with me. If you sign up for their trainings, if they go live, they tell you, do not sell yourself short. Go ahead and charge 15% for dispatch. Well, let me ask you this question. If the owner operator who just opened trucking company used to work as an owner operator, let's say for my trucking company, well, he was paying from 10 to maybe 15% for dispatch fees. So what was the reason for him to go on his own where his dispatch fee is going to be the same or even higher? Well, doesn't have logic in it. But again, this is America. Anybody can do and sell and charge as much as they feel to, right? For me personally, in this market, I think if you're a brand new dispatcher, start with your 5-6%. If this is a reefer or step deck flatbed and you're really going to look for partials, well, maybe 7%. If you are in the USA. And people always tell me, Alex, why I cannot charge the same if I am outside of the USA? And here's another thing. A lot of people try to pretend, right? Remember all my TikTok videos when they call you from friendly dispatch, alpha dispatch, the best dispatch, they telling you that they located where? In Bronx, New York. Well, we know they're not in Bronx, New York. They're somewhere in Sheridan, Wyoming. Well, they're not in Sheridan, Wyoming. They're telling you that they're somewhere in New Jersey. Wait, they're somewhere in Pakistan, in India, and it's okay. But why they try to pretend that they located in the USA? Because they want to validate. That's why we're going to charge you 7-8%. We're in the USA. And here's another thing. If you're a great dispatcher, even if you're on the moon, you can still charge you 8-9% as long as you know what you're doing. But usually, historically and logically, why are we outsourcing any jobs? Because it's cheaper, right? So there's your answer. If we are outsourcing dispatch, if we are outsourcing safety and compliance to other countries, where the living cost is cheaper, where the labor is cheaper, why would carrier or any other company, doesn't matter if it's trucking or not, pay the same as we pay in USA? Then it would not be outsourcing. Then it would not make sense. So do we understand why usually people outside of the country charge less? Because their living expenses are less. And that's only way it makes sense for any company to outsource. So are we clear on this? Hopefully, yes. Before we continue, let me see who is watching us and if we're gonna have a question. So who is watching us? Hello, Alex. Of course, Mr. Lincoln is always watching me. He is the best student, my carrier, my driver. Still waiting on those videos from the Bronx yesterday. I need at least 4 or 5 clips. I want to show the new dispatcher. What does it mean to take reefer load, dry load, flatbed load to Bronx, to Queens, to Hunts Point, so they can see there's no unloading dock, there's traffic. So please, 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 please. Okay. Who again he said that loads are bad in Allentown, PA. Well, loads are bad on East Coast. Yes, reloads are not good nowadays with a low market, but East Coast is always pays low. And now we don't have enough freight. So it is low, plus it's not paying. So if you guys going to East Coast, it's better be Mr. Lincoln. It's better be those golden avocados. Promise me that they were golden. Promise that those grapes were silver, that they were paying for them enough for you to consider to go to East Coast. Don't tell me that you're doing the same mistake, that you jump for that little bit higher paying load. And now when you're going to put 2 loads together, you're going to say, well, maybe I shouldn't go all the way to Bronx, right? But I will hear your feedback. Okay. We have somebody, okay, Mr. Brian, greetings, peace, joy, and prosperity. Thank you. Same to you. Yes, I won one-on-one. I guess you want one-on-one what? One-on-one load. That's what we call golden load. Or do you want one-on-one training? Well, if you want one-on-one training, you should find somebody who does one-on-one training. Unfortunately, cannot do one-on-one training with my busy schedule. Plus, it would be pretty pricey to do one-on-one. Okay. What else? Mr. Lincoln, previous student who took safety and dispatch, are telling us live training is the best. That's why I took your class. Too many pre-recorded scammers. Well, thank you, Mr. Lincoln. You're always vouching for us, and I do miss having you in the class. You were such a responsible student, driving, taking the classes, doing homework, and I see that you're doing well. Very proud of you. Okay. A question: as a dispatcher, when negotiating with a carrier or a broker, should the approach be the same with boss, or is there a difference between speaking with carrier as with broker? Okay, so probably somebody who is newer and who does not really understand. So when negotiating with carrier as a dispatcher, so you talking about onboarding carrier, right? So you looking for the carrier who you're gonna dispatch. Well, of course, your questions are gonna be different because you're gonna provide service. You need to sell yourself as that pro dispatcher who knows all of this, right? Market, equipment, negotiation, paperwork, invoicing, and safety, hours of service, right? That's gonna be your speech. You need to go check their safety. You need to make sure what type of equipment, where is they located. You need to ask them their operational cost, which region do they run or not run, right? How picky are they, or if they are willing to go anywhere as long. And also, do not promise nonsense. Most of them gonna ask you, how much are you gonna offer me a week? What is gonna be your gross? Gross for what? Remember, you still have to concentrate on rate per mile. So at least, do you know this all this terminology before we're gonna start to talk to carriers? So this is one kind of negotiation with a carrier, onboarding, right? But talking to the broker as a dispatcher who represents the carrier, who you just on board, of course, it's different. Talking to the broker will involve discussing exactly this load, right? Exactly for today. Let's say calling about posted load from Chicago to Memphis for dry van, maybe vented van for today. Is that still available? Well, you need to know the details, right? What time is the pickup? When is the delivery? First, you need to make sure that transit is possible. You need to understand transit and hours of service, right? Right. You need to make sure that you have the right equipment. Do you have swing doors, roll up doors? Do you have E-tracks, vertical, horizontal? What else do you have? Do you have air ride? Is your driver needs to assist, not to assist? All those questions. What is a commodity? Is it palletized? Is it floor loaded? Is it bulk? Do you see all the questions you're gonna ask broker before you're gonna start negotiating the price for this load? You need to do some steps. You have to do the quick rate search, see what everybody's paying, right? For the last, let's say, 7 days, 15 days. And it's all going to come from what? From load boards. It depends which subscription do you use. And if you know the market, then you talk about price. So talking to the brokers will kind of sound like a broken record after a while because those questions cannot change. You cannot ask how much first before you know all the details, right? Because otherwise you're gonna be starting booking desperate loads. Book multi-pick, multi-drop, impossible transit, or maybe commodity is not covered. So hopefully, Mr. Brian, I did answer that, right? So it's totally different. So onboarding carrier, there's certain questions you need to ask. You need to sell yourself. You need to get connected. You actually need to bring something to the table. And what can you bring? Well, you can bring your knowledge. You can bring your organizational skills. You can bring your sales skills, right? You can maybe bring your personal connections because if you've been already dispatching for other carriers, well, you do have relationship with brokers. Do not mistake with promising them that you're gonna go and get the dedicated lanes. You cannot do that because you're not a broker. And we will get back to this in a few minutes. Who else is watching? Hello, how are you? Okay, live. And who else? Let's see. And cause addiction, do not and cause addiction, do not forget to warn. Okay, I think that Leonid is from Ukraine, so he is telling you do not get addicted to my videos because first you're gonna, that's what he said, first you're gonna think that you have too much of me, then you're gonna start listen, well, one after another, one after another. But again, guys, it's no addiction. It's just if you really want to learn something, I do give a lot of details. And some people are gonna say, well, she's annoying, she's interrupting guests. It's so funny. Let me talk about this. Guys, when you do live and you invite somebody, remember, we do not practice, we do not pre-record them, the questions are on the spot. And sometimes it's not because I need to interrupt them, but we have certain time, right? And we have to keep going. And a lot of times my interruption is not because I'm rude or I want to overspeak, but because I want to catch and show you how honest, for example, is that representative. What actually I think is a good feature to have try hole or anything else. So it's kind of like a podcast, right? So sometimes if I would just sit there and wait for person to answer and go, we can sit there for hours. So understand the nature of the lives with a guest, okay? So please, and I promise you, I try to slow down. Even today, I kind of speak a lot, right? I already play my golf 18 holes under the rain, so I had to come and fix my hair. I had to work for an hour and now I go live. So I guess I'm wired up, right? So if I'm going too fast, tell me to slow down. But again, I don't want this live to be 2 hours. So let's go. We have some, and again, Facebook cannot see the names until I finish the live, so hopefully it's people who I know. True. I send you the messenger. Okay, I'll do that. Fine load. Okay, fine load for me. I am waiting in Nebraska to Toronto. I have roll tide. Well, again, can I let's talk about this. So this guy is asking me, find the load for me. I am here sitting in Nebraska. Let's say I'm independent dispatcher. Can I just jump and I post and let's say, I don't know, we're in Nebraska. So let's look. Let's share the screen for a second. Let's share this screen, right? I don't know. Let's choose this so you guys can see better. So he's saying that he's sitting somewhere in Nebraska. Okay, let's put Platt. I don't know which city. Do you know the city in Nebraska? Let's put Platt, Nebraska, right? Okay, North Platte, Nebraska, maybe. And he wants to go to Toronto, right? So I guess he's what? He is Canadian carrier, right? So he probably brought something from Canada. He needs to go bad. And what kind? I have roll what? Roll tide? What does it mean? I have roll tide. I don't know. So let's say maybe he is I don't know. Let's say he's van. Let's say he's van. He's 53, 46. Okay. Post. Or we can go what? Or we can go. There's no results. Okay. Let's go search. Let's go search and we're going to put any equipment, right? We're going to put any, just for the purpose of this, North Platte, Nebraska, going to Toronto. Okay. So here's the trick working with the Canadian carriers. When they get to USA, he needs to get load strict right from their area where he delivered, and he needs to go back to Canada. He cannot keep driving in the USA for few days, a few weeks, and they go to Canada. So hopefully you guys understand this. Okay, so let's put that he's 53 and just whatever. Let's put 46,000. I mean, since we are looking for any equipment, we actually gonna increase to 48,000 because flatbeds. And look at this, surge back. Instead of 2 hours, we're gonna switch to 48 hours. Wow, and look at this. So nothing for any type of equipment, right? So let's add it. So any what? Any when, any reefer. I'm gonna just choose few, right? Reefers, any flats. Okay, let's do flats. Any, I don't know, Conestoga. Let's do Conestoga. Let's put those four. Search. Look at this, nothing. We already choose four equipment. So similar matches. Or you have to increase your deadhead and you have to go to Columbus, Nebraska, and it's like 200 miles. Or you have to go backwards to Denver, Colorado, which is nonsense. You're not going to go to even more dead area. Or you can deadhead all the way to Iowa, and there may be some load. But look, all those loads, only one load goes back to Canada. And it's actually for reefer. We have another one for dry van. Well, let's organize by actually destination. And here you go. Oh, what can you do? Okay, so here you go. So we have man reefer, one flatbed going to Cleveland, Ohio. But remember, he cannot keep driving in the USA. He needs to get loaded and go to Canada. So what should we tell this mister? Well, why are you going to Nebraska? Do you have dedicated lane? Is this lane really plain? Because you need to know that area. Nebraska, it's a great state to pass through. Nebraska is a great state if you want to have horses and a big farm. And if you live there, well, sometimes you're going to come for a restart. But going through Nebraska, usually, this is a dead area. And we have a question right here. Hold on, guys, because I'm going to find the question which was right here. Can you provide how to receive the payment? Prioritize that area. Can I report? Hold on, guys, because I know that we had this. Brokers suggest a reliable equipment easily to dispatch. Okay, here was the question. Is it essential to have a knowledge of market commodities and equipment and actually dead areas? Well, it is essential, guys, for the dispatcher to avoid dead areas, right? When we talk about Wyoming, when we talk about Nebraska, when we talk about Montana, when we talk about North Dakota, when you talk about part, for example, of New Mexico, big chunk of Texas, well, you do not want to take loads there. It depends also on equipment. So how do you really learn this? Well, you guys can do simply by start spending time and using one of these features from actually, for example, that, right? And it's called market condition, right? So in tools, they have this market condition. And I'll just click next, next, next. So start playing with this. Are you looking for inbound or outbound? For what type of equipment? Reefer, van, and flatbed. It's only 3. So you can put location. Let's put North Plate, Nebraska, right? So let's talk about outbound. Okay, let's talk about today. And we actually choose drive-in. And look at this. And I don't know, let me try to make it bigger. So I don't know if you guys can see or not. So it shows you minus 51, very loose capacity. Load to truck ratio is 4. There's only 35 loads and only 8 trucks, right? So guys, is that a good area to end up and being in Nebraska, or should you avoid it? Well, you answer this for me, right? Let's go back. Let's remove this. So again, as a dispatcher, let me share one more time. As a dispatcher, you asking me, and here is what can you suggest a reliable load board? Well, guys, you know that I am affiliated with that. I have been using that for a long time, but I also use truck stop as well, right? And if you like truck stop, that's great. If you like load, that is great. I have 2 because I teach classes, but truck stop, I like their features, and I do like all these tools, right? So first, you can do the quick rate lookup. For example, you don't know how much they've been paying for the last, and also depends on the subscription you have. So I have a pro. Let's say you curious how much they are paying from Dallas, Texas, going, for example, back to Chicago before you commit to take load to Dallas. And you can choose, is this van, is it flatbed, or is this the reefer. So let's see. So they're gonna give you average for 15 days, right? They're gonna give you average for 15 days, and it shows that coming back, they are paying $1.69. Okay. So for you to average $2, well, how much do you need that? Well, you need at least what? 240, 230 from Chicago market to go to Dallas, right? Yes, if you're not getting that, well, don't go to Dallas, right? Maybe you need to do a shorter load, right? This is one thing. Then I told you we have this market condition where we already open. Actually, it was open right here, guys, right? So you can do inbound, you can do outbound. So start playing with this. If you don't know the area, put there Billings, Billings, Montana. You a Canadian carrier and you bringing something to Billings, Montana, let's say from Ontario, and you are reefer, right? Well, you can look, well, you will need outbound. You will need to get out from there. And again, you can look at what? At region. You can look at state, right? So let's say it's gonna increase your deadhead and it's gonna kind of cover half of Montana for you. And still, it tells you that capacity is low. There is not that many loads. So start learning this. But here is the trick. If I check today, and let's say capacity is minus 51, I'll check tomorrow, and now it says, well, capacity is minus 40. Can I go and become the trucking guru on the YouTube and start screaming, guys, Montana is paying, look at this, the numbers improve 7 points. Guys, it's still a dead area because we are talking about what? 50 loads and maybe 40 trucks. Now we're talking about 60 loads and maybe less trucks, right? So still pay attention to the numbers. If we are talking about 50 loads and 17 trucks, and then we have the markets in California, which we're talking about 2,500 loads and 1,700 marks. Can we compare that? And that's why a lot of you watching a lot of videos, but you have to understand how to read the data. So do not jump, because if I'm gonna start doing this every day, let's say I'll do a 20 minutes overview of the market in the morning, and we're gonna go through each state, 48 states, 3 different types of equipment, and we're gonna compare. And I have screenshot from yesterday till today. Can I actually tell you, well, you know what? It's improved by 7 loads. Now this is a good area. No, guys, still nonsense. So start learning, and that's what we concentrate in the classes. That's one of the homework is to learn all the commodities, all the key market cities, where the production is, where the produce grows, where is the produce come to our country, right? Is that San Diego? Is that Yuma? Is that Nogales? Is that Laredo? Is that El Paso? But in El Paso, is that going to be reefer or that's going to be flatbed, step decks? It's going to be those freight liners coming maybe through El Paso and dry goods. We have cross-boarding from Canada, right? Where do we have it? What's going on in the ports? So all of this, if you put all this knowledge together, this is the only way you're going to learn the market. Here's my advice to you. Take one state, spend 2-3 days. First, look at the seasons and for yourself mark, well, this is affected by winter, this is affected by traffic, the tolls are expensive. This is going to be your first kind of understanding of operational cost. Secondary look, well, how many people live there? What is the density of population? Well, density is high, lots of people living, then demand for food, for clothes, for supplies is going to be high. What does that mean in trucking? That means that you bring in the freight. Then you're going to say, well, how big is the state? Oh, this is in New York City. We're talking about an island. Well, we are bringing stuff, but the land is expensive. What do we have? We have high rises. We have a lot of people living, but Do we have actually the pumpkin farm there? Do we have a big manufacturing company there? No, they cannot afford it. Where are they located? Well, they move to upstate. They go to Pennsylvania. They go to Virginia. They go to cheaper state where they actually afford to buy the land, right? So that means coming to New York, coming to the island, well, they should pay you because outbound is low, right? You need to deadhead to New Jersey. You need to go to Philadelphia port. You need to sometimes deadhead, if you are that desperate, you are deadheading opposite way. You go into Portland, Maine, right? Because for some of the dispatcher, well, it's only 250 miles deadhead. Wow, what is that a big deal? Yes, it is big deal. And we're going to talk about this. Okay, let's continue. Where did we finish? Training. So charging fees, right? So guys, again, I think realistically from 5 to 8% right now, if you're in USA, if you're outside of the country, I would think from 3 to 4.5, 5. If you still do the safety, you can add. If you run in their company, if you build in their business, it's up to you what you charge. So we covered that. Load boards, truck stop, and that. Since we are here, if you want to try that, make sure that you use our promo code 00020174775 and you'll get 1 month free. In order for you to get that month free, you need to have the business open. What kind of business? As a dispatcher, you need to have your corporation, LLC, partnership open. You need to have your tax ID. They will validate your information. So make sure you tell them that you got it from Dispatch Training Center. They already know. So that's easier for you to get verified. You have 1 month free. Take the best subscription, one which is the highest one, which is a pro for 180. Why? So you guys have all of these tools, right? So you at least learn how to read the market, what is the onboarding, if you want to report somebody, all of this, and start getting used to dashboard, how to post truck, how to search. They have lots and lots of good videos, right? So make sure you do this. Okay. Let's go back to our questions. Okay. Here's another question. I'm honestly getting tired of answering this, but here you go. I'm an educator, so I need to keep answering the question if it's have been asked, even if it's a million times. Does a dispatcher require proof of commercial insurance and valid MC number? Let's make it clear one more time. As a dispatcher, you are representing carrier under their motor carrier number. For them to have motor carrier active number, they will need to have valid insurance. They need to have BOC3 filing and whatever else they need to hire driver. Carrier has to have that. You just need to make sure that they are authorized for hire. You need to make sure that their safety is in a good condition. And you need to make sure that they can give you all this so you can create carrier setup package, because you will need this to be able to set up with brokers in the future, right? Initial setup. You need to have that information in front of you because a lot of times you will need to verify. They need to give you access to that information. They need to trust you. That's why here's another question, which probably not listed here. Well, should we have carrier dispatcher or dispatch carrier agreement? Well, you should have it. Should I have the limited power of attorney? Well, again, you should have it because they will need to make sure that when they give you the personal information about the company, about their notice of assignment for the factory, when you representing them, that you not misusing information, right? You're not going and start double brokering. You not just take this information and then use with somebody else to run the scams, right? So that's why limited power of attorney, kind of recommended. You need to make sure that you need to read what is your state requirements, look what is the federal requirements, and of course agreement, because you guys need to discuss who is doing what and who is promising what. What are you promising, carrier? Well, you're promising that you're going to represent them, right? In a good faith. You're not going to misuse their information. Let's say you're going to charge them 5% from the gross. You're going to work from this time to this time, right? You're going to be maybe doing their invoices. Maybe you're going to be in charge of getting detentions, layovers, and all this paper, because this is a part of your job. You're going to maybe sometimes even answer after hours if that's what you agreed. Maybe sometimes on weekend you're gonna be switching and the owner's gonna do it every other weekend if you work for the small carrier. So whatever you agree has to be in that agreement. So then when somebody is not doing what they promise, you kind of can say, well, Alex, you promised me golden loads. I don't have golden loads. You giving me the cheap loads. Come on, Alex, you promised me that I'm going to have one-on-one and all you find in me is a multi-loads. I'm just kidding, guys, right? This was a joke. But do you understand this is a business? Do you want to protect yourself as an independent dispatcher? Yes, you want. And even payments. Well, the carrier is going to pay on Monday for previous week. Don't ever wait for 2 weeks. Don't ever wait for 3 weeks. Don't ever agree to get paid once a month, because I can tell you what happened. You're going to start setting up carrier. You're going to do all this paperwork. He's going to use you for 2-3 weeks and he's going to disappear. He's going to change all the passwords. And there you go. You were kind of running the charity operation there. Do we have a bad dispatchers? Yes, we do. Do we have the bad carriers? Yes, we do. Do we have a bad brokers? Yes, we do. We do have a bad apples in every little niche in trucking. Do we have honest people? Yes. Do we have loyal people? Yes. Do we have professionals? Yes. So that's why usually broker carrier dispatch carrier agreement is a good thing to have, right? Okay, let's keep going. Another one. Is it possible for a dispatcher to work part-time? And I like when they ask me, can I work like a night shift? Or can I work after 3 p.m. because I still want to be a teacher in the school, or I still want to run my software? Can I just work afternoon? No, you cannot work afternoon as a dispatcher. Unless what? Unless you go work for the mega carrier and you're going to be working in their tracking department and you're just going to be taking care of what? Some issues with the drivers, but then it's not going to be independent. And it also happens with outsourcing, right? Remember, we just had a student who finished from Uzbekistan, that young kid who was giving us a little speech, do not kill trucking, right? In his own language. So he had experience and he said, well, I was working as dispatcher, but then he corrected himself. He's like, no, I was actually only giving the updates, right? I was only giving updates to the drivers, checking if they picked up. So that's a different, right? So of course, then you can do it afternoon. You can do it at night shift, because big mega carriers, trucks still moving. They never stop. So things happen, accidents happen, breakdowns happen. But as a dispatcher, as independent dispatcher, well, you have to start in the morning. Do you have to work 8-10 hours? It depends on your skills. Sometimes I see dispatchers sitting there all day trying to dispatch their own husband. 8 hours, 10 hours. Well, here you go. If you cannot find load in the first 2-3 hours for your driver, for your husband, or any carrier, that means that you do not have basics. Because especially in this market, you need to pre-book. You need to understand the reality. If you are hoping for the magic load afternoon, well, maybe it's going to happen once in 3 months. But if that's going to be habit, and your driver is already got unloaded, and his logbook is clicking, and you just sitting, guys, and market is bad, and you're like, no, we're going to wait until we get a better load. Sometimes you need to keep moving to better area. A lot of times this mistake happens if you not checking what's going to be in this area tomorrow or day after when you book this load, right? So not making the steps, which a must, especially nowadays in the low market. So And when I hear those stories from my friends, and some of them, I'm telling you, they work for their husbands, I'm like, honey, you'd better go start baking cakes. You'd better start go work back as an accountant, hire somebody else, because first, person is getting frustrated. You sit there, you stare for hours and hours and hours. Your husband, your driver is frustrated. This is just a lack of professional knowledge. That's all it is. So don't blame market is low, but even this more low market, it has to be logical connection, right? So hopefully I answer you that question. Okay. Is it possible for dispatcher to work for more than one carrier? Is that even legal, right? Because now we all talking, and you know what? I'm gonna invite one couple who just went to Washington DC, and we're gonna talk about transparency for brokers, and we're also gonna be talking about what the brokers are trying to do. They want to make sure that dispatching is illegal. They want to make sure that we have to have a 30. For me personally, this is BS. We're not going directly to shippers. We're not going directly to receivers. We're not actually arranging the freight. We're not negotiating the freight. So why do I need a 30? I am providing service for my carrier who meets all the FMCSA regulations on different levels, right? Active MC, insurance, BOC3. He meets all the criteria for hiring the driver, clearinghouse, drug test, whatever, right? He meets all the criteria for, let's say, permits, for the states, for IFTA, for registration. Me as a dispatcher, I am providing service for my carrier. Broker is just the other side, which I need to just negotiate the load. I am not taking it for Alex Independent Dispatcher. I am taking for, let's say, Best Truck in LLC, MC12345. I have agreement between carrier and me that I represent them. So why FMCSA has to dictate their rules? How do we establish this relationship, right? Well, I am not arranging the freight. I am not actually obligated to have authority. So me personally, I think this is the biggest nonsense which people try to push, the brokers, the FMCSA, whatever. Why don't you, dear FMCSA, start checking on the double brokerage? Why don't you guys enforce the law about being transparent? Because we do have that law, right? And why the brokers do not have to go through any audits? Carriers do. You become the carrier, you have to go under audit in the first 18 months. So why don't we regulate the brokers and actually check what's going on? Are they actually scamming the system a little bit, right? Between doing double brokerage right and left, between not being transparent, and actually there's no penalties for anything. So, and this is my opinion. You like it or not, you guys know me for directness and logic. So, do I think that dispatchers should ever have the authority apply for this? No. Then you know what? Everybody else have to. If you wash my truck, you should apply too, because you touching the truck which is gonna go on the road. If you providing the accounting for the trucking company, then you should have a special authority also from FMCSA, because you dealing with this industry. Then shippers and receivers should also apply. But is that gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. They're all third parties. There's all independent services. So again, independent dispatcher, this is a service. This is not a carrier. This is not a broker. So let's cut that nonsense out. But we're gonna come back to this probably, maybe even tomorrow. I'm gonna call the Lisa tonight and see if they are able to actually do live tomorrow night. Okay. And there's a question. Is it essential to have knowledge of market commodities and equipment? Well, this is a must. You need to know the commodities in depends on the type of equipment. You need to know what never to take, right? Let's say you are a reefer carrier and you are a dispatcher. You have the same load. Let's say, I don't know, you come from Canton, Ohio. One load is eggs, one load is dairy. Eggs are paying you $150 more, and you jump for that $150. And let's say we are talking about the same miles. Let's say Canton, Ohio, and we are going back to upstate Wisconsin, right? We bring in eggs and cheese, and then we pick up eggs and cheese and do this. This is a lot of nonsense movements of stuff through the USA every day. Well, is that a smart decision? If you're a professional dispatcher first with the eggs and dairy, what is going to be involved? Well, you need to have food grade trailer. And it doesn't have to be nothing to do with the food. Food grade trailer, this is only means that it's clean, odorless, no debris, and this is in a good condition. If you even hold a paper, you need to have a food grade trailer. Has nothing to do with food. And we cover in this in my class because I don't want you to sound desperate. Really, this is a paper. Why do you need a food grade trailer? Why? They only need a clean, odorless, no debris trailer. That's what it means. Little misconception in logistics. Should we rename it? We should. If I would be in charge of that, I would just just tell me that you need a good trailer, clean, odorless, in a good condition. That's it, right? Whatever. So you jump in for that $150 extra. Hopefully you've been hauling eggs before and you understand that you will need to have pre-washed truck trailer inside out before you pick up those eggs. Hopefully you ask for reimbursement and negotiate for that to be reimbursed, because if you only jump $450, well, you're going to spend that $150 in washing trailer inside out and your truck, right? Okay. Secondary. We have dairy product, let's say yogurt, and you have eggs. Is that only about $150, or it's about how fragile those eggs, right? So now you go, your driver has a traffic through Chicago. He's late for that delivery, Tama, Wisconsin, and Walmart because they took forever to load the dairy or those eggs or whatever. Heartbreaking. Well, you have dairy, you have yogurt. Chances that actually you're gonna have some damage are very slim. But in this $150 extra load, you have eggs. What are the chances of you now delivering omelet instead of eggs, at least in 2-3 pallets? So do you see, guys, all of these little tiny things have to be in your pro dispatcher head. So as a smart dispatch, and of course, you're going to pick up dairy. You're not going to pick up egg, even if it's a $300 difference, right? Because your job is not only book the highest paying load, sometimes it cannot be highest paying load, but your job is to make sure that your carrier is not going to go out of business because he had damage, because commodity wasn't covered, it was excluded, because it was too heavy, or because you go into the dead area. So it's a lots and lots of questions for you to put together before you're gonna ask how much and before you're gonna agree. And this is just one of the samples, right? So do you need to know the equipment? Yes, you do. Do you need to know the exclusions on the policy of each carrier? Yes, you do. Do you need to pick and choose? Should you pick apples or should you pick cherries? Well, of course, apples, even if it's a different $600 coming from Washington to Bronx Market. How many pallets are going to be rejected of those cherries? And how long do you have to wait for those cherries to be picked, cooled, packaged? And apples, they're already coming from the last season. They already been sitting there for 7-8 months. $600 sounds so good. Well, you in and out, you got apples, you already on the way. You saving at least 1 day in transit. You're not gonna have the rejection because cherries are very easy to get spoiled. Secondary, if you are taking the yellow cherries, rain cherries, well, your cargo has to be covered at least 125, 150,000. So do you see, guys? What is the difference between pro dispatcher, pretending to be dispatcher, and claiming to be the best trucking guru? It's a lots and lots of knowledge, logical knowledge. Okay, so let's keep going. Oh, that's another one. Which type of truck and equipment is the most easily to dispatch? Well, I think the most easy it's a drive-in, and this is my opinion. Why? Because most of the deliveries pickup is going to be actually first come first serve. So that's gonna help you with the transit, right? Because we're gonna go to the next question, talk about hours of service. Most of it's palletized unless you guys not paying attention and you take those live floor loaded furniture or some other nonsense, right? But usually it's palletized in and out. First come, first serve helps, right? Lots of times it's gonna be lots of light loads. It depends on commodity, but we also can have heavy loads, right? But with a drive-in, like we have dry goods which are light, clothes, chips, whatever, some medical supplies, not heavy loads, right? So you saving on what? You saving on the wear of your truck, right? Because the lighter load, the better is for you for your mpg, miles per gallon. If your mpg is higher, you're using less fuel, that means your operational cost is lower, so your profits is high. Do you see, guys, how many things we are learning in the class? Okay, so I think the drive-ins for the beginners, this is easy. Then you can choose between flatbed step decks, and there has to be already good understanding of the permits. Probably you're not going to be dealing with the outsides right away unless you've been dispatching for 3-6 months. And there it comes, and new game, partials, right? So weight distribution, being realistic. And the biggest mistakes dispatchers do, that's when they book the load and they just say, oh, it's going to be 30 feet. And they start booking all these extra partials because they have 53 feet flatbed. Well, remember, first he needs to go pick up that main load, right? First, you need to make sure that you did not book it as dedicated. But even if you did book it dedicated and you're going to lie about it, then make sure that you remember. If you take any partial, that partial has to get out first before you're going to deliver that main load, right? Make sure that first you see how they gonna secure that load and where they gonna put it. It's gonna be 30 feet. That doesn't mean that they're gonna put, it depends how heavy it is, that they're gonna put it in front or they're gonna put it on back, right? And this is a mistake which new dispatchers do. Well, who can help you? Your driver can help you. Your driver with a flatbed step decks have to be kind of easy guy, because we have a lot of I'm not gonna tarp, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do this. And especially in this market, it's just like, well, buddy, go try to book the load for yourself. And I have a brand new MC. Well, I'm not a magician, I don't have a magic wand, the stars, I don't just pretend that, come to me and you're gonna be taken care of. No. So if you're a brand new care, if you only have one truck, you don't have inspection, and you don't want to tarp, you don't want to secure, you're not going to go here, you're not go there, you don't really want to do the partials, well, then it's just like, well, go back and work somewhere else. Maybe McDonald's, maybe working for the UPS, FedEx, maybe Ubering, Lyft. Guys, this is a partnership here, right? Dispatcher and the driver has to be on the same team. And of course, as a dispatcher, I'm not going to punish you. Of course, I want to find partials for you or the lighter load. But then we have a reality of the market. We have a reality, where do you live, how often you want to be home, reality, how good is your equipment. So all that plays a big role as well. I can be having experience. For me personally, I already have experience for 14 years. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to start dispatch you with 30-day MC, that I can give you the same numbers, the same routes, set you even up with the same brokers and my other carriers who've been in business for 5, 7, 10 years. People who have 5 trucks, 7 trucks, right? So you guys need to understand this. And that's a problem when people start saying, oh, I have this loads, I have this, I have, well, you're working for mega carrier, maybe who have dedicated lanes, right? You're working for somebody who has 220 trucks. That it's one story. And then You compare yourself with 30 days of MC or three months MC with one truck, and you only want to stick to, let's say, to Atlanta area. You want to be home by 12 o'clock on Friday. You don't want to leave Monday by 1 p.m. and you still want to make 10,000 gross. Well, I don't know. Maybe Alice in Wonderland can offer her dispatch, but not me, not any other dispatchers. And if they do, then they just promising you nonsense. And they probably just try to scam you for a few weeks, and they're gonna tell you, oh, it's gonna get better. Oh no, it's nothing there, right? So here you go. So we all agree, and I hope you guys agree. Put the comments that the dry vents are easier to dispatch. Okay, next questions. Guys, we just have a few more because I know you're already getting tired of me, and actually time flies. So, is double brokering considered legal? What are the signs of it? Well, let's first think, what is double brokering, right? Let's say me, as an independent dispatcher, I dispatch for few carriers and they know each other. And one carrier has 3 months MC, one has already 2 years, and they're buddies. So they came to me, I dispatched them. And here's this guy stuck somewhere, let's say in Platt, Nebraska, and the only load is given by GB Hunt, right? So GB Hunt just changed their rules, and you have to be in business at least for a year to even take that cheap, desperate load from Platt, Nebraska. Well, he calls his buddy and he say, listen, can Alex book this load under UMC, but I'm gonna go, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna deliver, and you know what, I'm gonna give you money for this because I just need to get out. I don't want to drive empty all the way to Chicago. Let's say they're buddies, and this guy calls me and he said, Alex, no problem, just book this load under my MC, give it to this guy Mike, and we're gonna figure out the paperwork, everything else. Well, this is double brokering on the level between the carriers, right? Okay. Same happening with Amazon accounts, guy, right? If you have Amazon account, well, you should only book on Amazon load board exactly under your MC. But as many of you know, Amazon has their own system, their performance, right? You can have A, B, whatever, right? So a lot of double brokering going on with Amazon. First, because they open MC and they book the loads on Amazon, but because Amazon is also very strict on the safety, on everything else, what's going on? Well, they want to make sure that this MC has a good safety. So they book 20 loads, they only have 5 trucks, and then they advertise another 15 loads on the Telegram groups, on the Facebook groups. They already have carriers who cannot even have Amazon account, right? So then those people go pick up. Well, this is double brokering as well. This is illegal, right? Happens so many times, right? Other thing. Well, now I have a brokerage MC, but I also have trucking company, different names. Let's say I have Alex Dispatch Service. Then I have Alex Brokerage. And then I have also Alex Trucking. And I love to do scams because it's so easy, right? So I book 5 loads because I have a good negotiation skills under Alex Transportation. I have MC and I know how to negotiate. Let's say I book 4 loads and I negotiated, let's say each load is $2,000, whatever. We're not going to specify. Let's say whatever. Chicago to Dallas, $2,000, drive in. Well, market is that. I also have my MC for brokerage. I book those loads maybe with Coyote, with TQL, with CH Robinson. Now I'm going to pause them from my Alex Brokerage, and I am going to resell them to whatever, to Mike Transportation. He calls me and he needs a load. Well, I am going to tell him that the most I pay is $1,700. One scenario, right? So Mike goes, And I tell him, well, make sure on the rate I redo the rate confirmation, put all the pickup, everything else. So now it doesn't come from TQL, it comes from Alex Transportation. Make sure you check in as Alex Trucking, pick up, deliver, and here's the red signs. Check in as Alex Trucking, one sign, the red sign, right? Secondary, after you pick up the load, make sure if a shipper or something asks, you show them that you tell them that you're from Alex Trucking. When you got loaded, make sure you send me right away BOL, all the pages, really good, right? Make sure when you deliver, I need to sign the BOL right away. Good case scenario, you're still gonna get paid your $1,700. What's gonna happen? You send invoice to me, I say that, oh, I can do quick pay, or you can do, I even can have factoring, right? I gonna go invoice TQL, I'm gonna get my 2,000, I am gonna invoice my factoring, and let's say I'm gonna get paid 1,700. Here you go, I made $300 on double brokerage because I actually took this load from TQL for my Alex Transportation. I double broker under my MC. And usually the name is going to be different, right? So this is one case scenario. You still got paid while you lucky. Why is it illegal? Because first, it's illegal to take the load under somebody's MC because insurance is not going to cover if something happens, your cargo, your rejections, your damage, if the accident happened. And a lot of insurance agents going to tell you this trick. If something happens, right now they start saying that we had lease agreement, blah, blah, blah. So they say, well, he was working. So it's a lot of scammings going on the insurance side to make sure that it's covered or not covered. But a lot of people are not going to get covered anyway. But then we have a smarter scammers nowadays. They book the load for 2,000. And you look, everybody's paying 2,000, 1,900, 2,300. And here you see brand new MC, which was open only in May 15th, so February 27th of this year. Wow, paying you $2,800 when everybody's paying 21. Or the best way for them to catch you, they see that you posted truck in Chicago and you say that you want to go to Z7 or you want to go to Dallas. They are calling you. Because a good salesperson, it's easier for him to call you and say, well, I have this hot load, blah, blah, blah. I'm paying $2,700. And you like, oh my God, this is finally my miracle load. I've been sitting all day. Why? Because they know you're going to jump for that money. You go, you do everything what Mike did before. The moment you deliver the load, you try to email, you try to call, you try to get the money, you actually submitting to your factoring. And let's say you have RTS and RTS tells, listen, this load never belonged to C.H. Robinson. This load never belonged to this company. This is a scam. And here you are with a piece of paper. Oh, I don't have. Oh, actually, my son just got the red violation. So here, red violation on his car. Okay, let's pretend this is a rate confirmation. So what do you got? You got a piece of paper stating that you have $2,700. You did it for free. The chances of you recovering the money very slim. And that's why we have this going on so much in 2023. I can tell you officially, I think that 2023 should be named the double brokerage scamming year. This is the most things I see. And we are only in June, guys. We are only in June. So double brokering took over trucking industry in 2023. Another highlights for 2023 is, of course, going to be low market, supply and demand, right? The freight volume. That's another highlight of why 2023 market is so low, simply supply and demand. Another highlight of 2023 trucking industry is going to be by the end of the year. How many companies are going to file for bankruptcy? That's another highlight. And another highlight, how many unprofessional dispatchers who do not have foundation are finally going to quit because you simply do not have a logic or knowledge to keep going. So you're getting frustrated. Your drivers finally understanding that you were just lucky to book the previous loads last year, year before, just because market was high. And even then, you did not make all the money because you did not know everything. You did not even negotiate. Remember, my cat would just meow and he would book the load, right? So that's what happened. So 2023 is a very, very unique year in trucking. But let's continue. Ooh, hours of service. Okay, hours of service. It's not hours of sleeping. It's nothing else. Hours of service. I am not gonna explain this, guys. Probably we just have to do another video just of hours of service, but just the main picture. While the drivers have hours of service, which are created by FMC and say they are mandatory and everybody has to follow if you are holding the CDL, if you are taking interstate care, whatever. So we have hours of service. The main idea for you as a dispatcher to understand what cycle is, right? We can have 70, 16, depends what your company choose. Most of interstate, all over state carriers choose 70. So this is like your working week. After 70 hours, mandatory restart, 34 hours, not 31, not 28, not 22, unless what? Unless you still faking logbook. And here you go, guys. Flash news for you. Do people still fake logbook? Yes, they do. I think that 65, especially in this market, we had probably 30% of faking of logbook. Yes, they do fake logbook, right? Although the ELDs should not be faked. Well, we do have smart Ukrainian software engineer, Indian software engineer. We have back offices. And why is that happening? They're third party. FMCSA is not going to punish them. Before you fake your logbook, what do you see? The big sign. Are you sure that you want to commit federal crime? Are you sure you're making these changes? And usually the back office, you have those trackers, or what do they call them? ELD helpers or support. So you call, they fix for you, they move all of this. So then if you work for a company like this, you don't even need to know your hours of service. They're gonna fake for you everything. You pick up your PTI, you restart. So don't even worry about it. They're gonna be giving you team loads. You're gonna be driving nonstop, no shower, no eat. You're gonna make sure that you one day gonna lose your house. You're gonna get in accident, and one day you're gonna see, why the hell did I do it? Right? No reason, guys. So hours of service, those are certain hours which every driver has to follow. So besides cycle, we have a shift. We have 14-hour shift every day. It's kind of our working day. From those 14 hours, you can legally drive 11 hours. You have to do PTI. You have to do 30 minutes break if you drive more than 8 consecutive hours. What else? Well, you need to make sure that you fill out logbook with all the information. For example, BOL numbers, where you pick up load, where you going, because that's going to validate actually if you are truthful or not. When inspectors stop you on the road, they can do different types of inspection, and usually they do check your ELD. Here's another little note for fakers. When you are in inspection mode and they send that to their email, all the edits, whatever your back office in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Moldova, Kyrgyzstan, Colombia, Philippines is doing, they can see that. That's why a lot of you cannot even pass new entrant audit, because you still faking logbook, because here on the surface it looks good, but on the back you can see everything. And if somebody promised you that, oh, you know what, we have a special one, but you have to pay $300-400, BS. They still have to meet criteria. And I do believe it's 43 different criteria to be able to go on a providers list for ELD for FMCSA. If I would knew at least one who can do all that, I would already tell you guys, right? Because trucking is not that easy. So there is your answer for 4 hours of service, right? So restart, cycle, shift. We also have to know as a dispatcher the sleeper burst, right? We can sleep 10 hours mandatory right after you finish your day. You cannot move your truck, or if you were using the split, it can be 8 and 2, 7 and 3. Here, I don't see this question, but can you really dispatch if you do not have access to ELD for your driver? If you really want to pro dispatch, you cannot. You're not going to ask your driver how many hours you have. What do you have? You have to actually look before you make that phone call. You need to make sure he has enough hours to bring that cherries all the way to Bronx, right? That he does not gonna sit somewhere in Fargo, North Dakota with restart for 34 hours and have those cherries extra 2.5 days. Do the brokers see that? No. Do the brokers should know? Well, usually the good broker, when we talk about long distance load, he's like, do you have fresh hours? Are you going to have enough hours on your clock to make this transit? But again, we have so many newbies on both sides, dispatching side and brokerage side. And actually, if something happens, brokers not going to be answering them. They're not going to pay in those claims. So it's in the end, it's always your carrier. And that's what it is, unfair in trucking industry. So as a dispatcher, should you know hours of service? Yes. Should you have the access to ELD? Yes, yes, and yes. Should you understand this? Yes. How can you start learning this? Well, go to FMCSA, right? FMCSA. Okay, and start learning your stuff, right? Why it's not opening? Come on. Here you go. You as a dispatcher, guys, should start going to this site almost every day and learn something new. Put HOS, right? Hours of service. It's gonna take you right here. You gonna go exactly to hours of service. Look at all the rules so you can explain. You can have slides. Look at the slides, beautiful slides. So there is no excuse why some dispatchers do not know what's going on, right? This is no excuse. Everything is free. In class, we're going to cover all this. We have adverse driving and everything else. You have a lot of questions and answers here. So there you go, FMCSA. So everything you want to know, you can know. You want to see AMC? Well, here you go. You want to know what's going on with MC, how to get operating authority? There you go. Do you need to know the type of authorities as a dispatcher? Well, you'd better know. You are professional dispatcher, right? You not just pretending to be dispatcher. So learn this basic information. Guys, we're going to be almost done because I know this is the middle of the day. Most of you are working. Can you provide information on how dispatchers receive their payments? Again, in that dispatch carrier agreement, you guys gonna decide, are you gonna ACH me? Are you gonna pay with credit card? Are you gonna use Venmo? Are you gonna do money, whatever you guys, whatever, me personally, I use Zelle on Monday. They have to pay me by 5 p.m. for previous week. No excuses. I don't care about breakdowns. I don't care if they have to pay. Sometimes with carriers who have been for a long time, yes, I can understand. No, I did my job. Everything is invoiced. Everything is delivered. I do not charge on the loads which are in transit still. So on Monday, whatever was delivered for previous week, well, they received a statement by 9 a.m. and they have till 5 p.m. to pay. Whatever you use, here you go. I don't believe in sending me checks because usually that's how people scam each other. The checks come, there's bounce check, or they never send you money. I don't really like ACH. So for me personally, we just invoice them through Zelle, and that's what we do. Okay. And again, if you're outside of the country, it depends how you decide. Ooh, I don't know if you're gonna cover this. I am unsure about the tri-hole option. Can you provide me with more information or clarify what it entails? Okay, let's go really fast here. Let's go to post-rock. Okay. And I'm not gonna explain in details because, guys, we do have perfect video on probably a year ago. So find our try hole video and try to watch it first. So let's say my truck is in Newark, New Jersey, right? So usually we do it with a backhaul. So I got a strong load from Chicago. It goes to New Jersey, but from New Jersey to Chicago is very bad market. So let's see. If you're gonna put exactly that you're looking for Chicago and we are looking for tomorrow, let's click right here. You're gonna have best try hole option. So let's click. So what does it mean, best try hole? Well, they are telling you if you go directly, let's say from New Jersey to Chicago, well, right now for drive and look at this, you probably the highest gonna get paid $1.40 per mile. It's 1,100. And then the program, and that's why people were defending Dad and say that I was kind of rude. No, actually, Dad loves me because I give them a lot of insights as dispatcher, as working with their software a long time. So the program automatically, and actually, I was surprised that their software team actually in Ukraine, in Kiev. So dear software engineers, pay attention to this. So what does it? Because this is the program. It actually just tells you, well, first go to West Virginia, then go to Chicago. Does it make sense? Well, no. You're going to West Virginia. You're dealing with the mountains. You now talking about maybe the same miles, but they say, well, you're gonna end up having $1.69. So by looking at all of this, the only logical tri-hole options, and tri-hole means the main hole, the head hole, Chicago to New Jersey, this is a one load. Why it's tri-hole? Because you're not gonna go New Jersey to Chicago, you're gonna go somewhere else, and the second load is gonna go to Chicago. So for me, only Buffalo, New York, and Syracuse would be realistic tri-hole option. The best one probably would be, it's probably even go to Cleveland, go to Toledo, go to Erie, Pennsylvania, and then finish up. So the good tri-hole, this is when you still not adding all these extra miles. You're not going opposite from Chicago. And by combining two loads, hopefully you're gonna end up with not $1,100, but let's say with 15. If by combining two loads your difference is only $100, doesn't make sense. Extra peak, extra drop, extra challenges, extra liability, no. So the tri-hole option, you breaking backhaul in 2 trips, but we not trucking around. We're making logical decision, right? Let's say I'm going Chicago to Dallas, my strong load, right? From Dallas to Chicago, not in pay. Can I go from Dallas first to Atlanta and then to Chicago? Well, this is not tri-hole. This is driving around. But can I go from Dallas maybe first to Missouri or maybe to Oklahoma, right? On the way to Chicago and then to Chicago. So I still have 2-day transit, but hopefully I'll make that $600 difference. So this is kind of simple explanation of tri-hole. But again, we do have a great video probably from 2 years ago, right? So that's about it. Okay. Could you please tell me how I can educate myself on that areas? Well, remember that market condition, that's first. Secondary, go by each state and start learning. Do they have any production? Do they manufacture anything? Do they have produce? How many people live? Yes, of course, you can educate. Humans can educate themselves on anything. You just need to put time, effort. And nowadays, with Google, all the social media, with all the YouTube, with people sharing information, this is so much easier. So, yes, of course, you can educate yourself. Okay. Is it important for trucking dispatcher to prioritize safety and compliance? Well, I do believe this is a must. Dispatcher who does not understand safety and compliance is never can call themselves pro dispatchers. Even if you do not offer safety services, you need to understand regulation rules. You need to know how to help carrier with the permits, what is involved, what is the violations, which violations are crucial. So yes, you do need to understand this is like a part of industry, right? Can I bake the cakes if I only know how to put ingredients together, but I don't know how to manage and I don't know how to put it in the stove? No, you cannot. You need to know how to measure. You need to know how to mix. You need to know for how long to put. You need to know how to cool, how to decorate, right? So same with the dispatching. Safety and compliance, it's a little actually part. And I think my TikTokers, you guys gonna lose me because my phone is gonna die. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys learn. Yeah, chat GPT. Yeah, you can ask and it's gonna answer. How can I negotiate the load, right? And it's gonna answer to you everything. So artificial intelligence, and soon probably we are looking of trucking industry to switch to the blockchain. I think that in 4 or 5 years, trucking companies actually not gonna exist. What's gonna happen? It's gonna be bunch of owner operators, and you're gonna have blockchain app, and you can do it. Okay, I am going here. Here's the load. I can rebook, so the shipper receiver can verify you already, your insurance, and that's what we look at. So that's why most of you, if you are following any industry highlights, you understand. So we going into era of blockchain, and probably I'm talking about the next 5 to 10 years. So do you need to prepare yourself for that? Yes, you do. When will you come live, guys? Please, TikToker, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dispatch Training Center, and then you can see every time I go live, and you can watch, right? Okay, one more question. Can you provide information on the maximum deadhead allowed for trucks? Well, maximum deadhead. If you want to deadhead 1,000 miles, go ahead. Logical deadhead. Well, I like to book the load from the same. If I deliver to Kroger, I would like to pick up from Kroger. If I deliver to CNS, I would like to pick up from CNS. I would like to eliminate deadheads because I want my rate per mile be higher, right? So I want to make sure that my profits are higher. And the only way profits can be higher if my rate per mile is higher. Because if my operational cost is $2 and my rate per mile is 260 while my carrier is making 60 cents per mile, but if I am adding deadheads, well, nobody pays for deadheads, right? If I am losing time in transit because by the time I deadheaded 260 miles to go to West Virginia because I thought it was a good tri-haul, well, first, they already closed down. Secondary, nobody pays for 265 miles. I went to the dead area. I probably end up with same $1.45. So can I justify deadheads? Not really. But it depends on the area. Again, if you are flatbed and you have a really good paying load, let's say going to Billings, Montana, you have to predict that there's gonna be no load and you will need to deadhead probably down to Idaho, maybe even to Colorado or to Minnesota, right? To North Dakota, whatever, to get reload. So when you know that you're going to that area, you have to automatically add. It depends on type of equipment. I'd like to reload not more than 75 miles from where I'm delivering. My target is 50. Anything over 150 has to be justified. If you are reefer and you have to go, for example, down to pick up those watermelons or something, but no, I cannot even tell you maximum deadhead. It depends on your skills. If you really know what you're doing, pre-booking, not going to the dead area. So this is the answer. Oh, this is a perfect one. Will the market improve the next week or next month? Okay, Alex, let's see. Here you go, guys. I'm gonna take a crystal. You know, I'm big on all the spiritual stuff, crystals. Okay, let's ask. Dear Crystal, is the market gonna change next week, tomorrow, or guys? That was just a joke. No, market is not changing. Let's look at the trend lines, and you guys have to understand this, right? That one, let's see tools. Let's see tools, and let's see right now, what are we gonna see? Rate view trend lines. So what's going on right now in the market? Let's be realistic. Okay, let's see. Compared to May, June is showing that we are at 209 for loaded miles. Guys, we're just in the beginning on June. So I think we're going to end up the same as a May, if not even lower, because I see that volume went down. If you're talking about flatbeds, we are 265, same as a May, but I know that June is already going down again. The market goes down. Reefers are 2 cents higher. But again, we're just in the second week of the reefer. So this is your trend lines. And is this really going to go down? So you guys need to make sure you start read all of this data of all of this on a DAT, on a truck stop, on a Coyote. Will the market change next week? No, it's not. Will the market improve by the end of the summer? No, it's not. Will the market improve by the end of the year? Maybe if we have something unusual happen on all the planet, maybe the war is gonna end in Ukraine, the prices for the fuel actually went down, but we're in not that stable economical situation in the USA. All other countries are suffering. So I am not a economical guru, but no, I think that market is going to be changing for better next March, maybe April. So that's why understanding this, you need to pay attention to the details. You need to have skills. And if you do not know how to dispatch, if you did not build a strong foundation, please do us a favor. Pick some other jobs, become a makeup YouTuber, become I don't know, software engineer, become a nurse. Do not come to this industry to kill the careers with you not having knowledge. Please. We are here to survive. All the carriers are in survival mode. Mega carriers in survival mode. Dispatcher who've been doing it for a long time are also. So please, you can join us with education, with knowledge, with your skills and improve it, but don't take it slightly. Don't just think that it's a game. Do not play with somebody's family money. Don't put the carriers out of business just because you think, oh my God, I'm just going to make phone call. I'm going to buy 2 laptop, 2 screens, and I'm going to be that fancy dispatcher who works from home. It's not going to happen. Okay, guys? Is it possible? Yes, possible. Take it seriously. This is a job, and this is very important job. Because of how you do your job, your career is surviving or your career is getting out of business. So please, do not come to kill trucking industry. Come to change it for the better. Okay? So, what else? Here's the last question of the day because I am kind of getting tired. And we've been, oh my God, this is one of the longest lives on YouTube. YouTube's gonna say, Alex, we are closing your channel. Your lives are too long. I am considering starting a trucking company now because equipment prices are more affordable. Would this be a good decision? Personally, me, I would not open trucking company right now because lots of brokers have changed their rules. And it's not about cheaper equipment that you're going to secure, but a lot of brokers are not going to give you loads because they change the rules. They want you to be in business instead of 3 months to 6 months or to a year. Now they want you to have inspection for at least on the truck. And that's what's killing the people who come to the trucking right now, because you cannot just survive on a charity TQL load or CH Robinson, right? Even the charity GB Hunt just changed their rules for 1 year, which is nonsense. They don't even have a good loads anymore, but still. So you have to be realistic. Shortage of the drivers, insurance cost. So probably my suggestion for you, maybe come and purchase our webinar, which we're going to have in the end of June, how to open trucking company, what is involved. So at least you can build a business plan, you know your operational cost, you know how much money involved, some regulations, what to do, not to do, and then decide. Do you have that caution? Do you have enough knowledge? Is that going to be a smart decision right now? Because nowadays you have to be very, and again, if you driver, are you going to be driving, or you just a person who decided to come buy 4 trucks, spend $500,000 thinking that, oh my God, everybody talks about it. Some people tell me, I was watching you, you inspired me, I bought the trucks, and that's your fault that I came to trucking. No, that's not my fault. You didn't ask me. You, maybe even if you took my classes, still you were supposed to understand operational cost, and some of them, even when they already fail, and still don't know operational cost, because they think they can just come and play in trucking. Don't come and play in trucking unless you want to lose that $500,000, get depressed and get out of trucking business. Well, this is a industry for big girls and big boys. And by saying that, first, knowledge. Calculate, ask people who've been in business, predict the worst case scenario. And if you can survive with a worst case scenario, then go to any business, right? So here is a lot of investments, insurance, regulations, equipment is not cheap, and everything else. So, okay. Can I report a broker for non-payment? Yes, you can report. Actually, even if you go to that, look at this, Dad and Truck Stop, if you book that load from their app, you can report the bad behavior, and it goes on all the ways, to the broker, to the carrier, to whatever. So they're going to ask you your account, your company, and they will investigate if you did book this load. So if they did not pay, they will ask you to include the PDF, load destination, complain. So this is one of your chances. Same we have on a truck stop. They also have that, right? So report the business broker right here. So they also will investigate, kind of the same, what you can report for non-paying, if the broker performance, all of this. So after you finish this, they will investigate. You can also go against their surety bond. You can file the claim. And of course, yeah, you can try to get your money. But as a dispatcher, pay attention to those red signs. Whatever sounds too good, probably not good. If the broker is not approved by your factoring, well, stay away. If this sounds too sketchy and they only talk to you over email and you cannot even reach them, and they ask you to pick up load under somebody else, well, stay away from it. So there's a lot of things which good dispatcher is gonna catch. Or even driver, when he goes to check in, he's like, Alex, it does not sound that good. They asking me this, this, and this, and they telling me that somebody else was supposed to pick up. So those are a lot of red signs. Okay. Okay, I think we are done for today. Hopefully, guys, you are going to find us. Again, our class, June dispatch class, is starting this Saturday. You have 2 days left. You can go to learndispatchtoday.com, sign up, and here's the trick. You can even put the code SAVE100 for the next 24 hours, and you'll get sent and you'll save $100. I just put it before the live. So if you put in a coupon SAVE100 for the next 2 days, you can save $100 on the class. Class is $949, so it's going to be $849. We're starting on Saturday. We do classes on Saturday only. So even if you're driving, you can still take, as long as you're going to have that 4.5 hours on non-driving, your computer and your camera. You can still take classes. Okay. Let me say hi to some of my watchers. So, okay, do you familiar with the Freightware Sonar app? If yes, your option. Well, this is for people who actually, for brokerage side, for shippers and receivers. For dispatcher is not actually make sense, because this is tells you how to negotiate what everybody's paying. So yes, if you're going to be actually broker or you a shipper who wants to know how much they should pay, then yes, Sonar app is great. As a dispatcher, not really. This is not something which is gonna make you better or help you out. Okay, what is this? There is a tool on the dashboard when you're in a dashboard where you can see per equipment in every state, how many loads every state is great, but 90% of dispatchers do not use it. Yes, they do not use it. And one more thing, you still have to logically understand the numbers, right? Because you cannot compare Wyoming, let's say 50 loads and one truck, and it's gonna say, oh my god, hot market, because it's a ratio 50-1. And then let's say compare Chicago with 3,000 loads and 2,500, and it's gonna say, well, it's kind of cool because it's the same. So even if you know how to use it, logically you need to read the numbers, right? What is a load to truck ratio? And if it's low, well, it's not a golden Wyoming today just because it's there, one truck and 50 loads, and it shows you that it's hot. Well, it's not hot. It's a desperate decision. So that's why a lot of times when people ask me, Alex, why don't you do all this overview every day? Because to do that, what we have to do? Well, we have to look at each state. Then we have to post exactly for this equipment and see, first of all, reality, what's posted, how much they pay, right? To validate. And it just would be too much time. And by the time we do all this, market is going to change afternoon or change the next day. That's why I refuse to do it. Maybe to get viewers and get all the followers, I can just do it, but I like to bring the information for smaller carriers. Again, the data is validating for also capacity, right? For bigger carriers. And you cannot compare guy with 1 month MC, one truck, and compare somebody who has 50 trucks, 100 trucks, right? So all of this plays crucial understanding of the market. So we can give the overview, we can learn the principles, but as a dispatcher, it's you who is going to be that investigator and who is going to say, well, this is nonsense. I don't care if it says hot. Well, it's not. It's not. It's only 50 loads, and there is only one truck. And deadhead has to be at least 270 miles in that Wyoming or Montana or North Dakota or everywhere else. Okay, hi, Mr. Alex. Here listening to continue. Okay, my previous student, thank you. Your class, Tanya. Hi, Tanya. How are you doing? Okay. You are hot. Are you single? Thanks for yes. I'm single. I'm going on the market, right? Which app should I use? Should I use a truck stop or should I use the load board to advertise that I am single? That's funny. Okay. Thank you for the information. Okay. They Trey, you still stuck. Okay, you still stuck, Trey? What's going on? No, he probably found not that paid. Well, he's not gonna sit in Pennsylvania. He's gonna be a big boy. He's gonna probably try to do tri-hole. Hopefully, not going all the way to McLean, Colorado. So he knows what he's doing. But again, I will validate with him, right? Oh, he said yes, sir. You still stuck? Mr. Lincoln, back to classroom. We're gonna talk to you. I'm about to take on carrier with 426 box truck and do not really care for straight trucks and prefer drive and flat reefer. What's the best load board to use? I emailed you too. Well, again, for those straight box, truck stop has more, but also we have Selectus, right? Mickey, if you remember in the class, I was showing you Selectus by Omni. As a dispatcher, you cannot sign up, and I do believe they still have a restriction. You should have 5 trucks for carriers to sign up. So Selectus has that more for sprinters, straight box, but truck stop has more than that. As an independent dispatcher, you cannot subscribe to truck stop, so your carrier has to do. Make sure you use the link. Find the link on. Do I have the link on my find the video with a truck stop And I don't know, I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna email it to you. So if you carry signups, at least use the 50% for 3 months discount, because we also have affiliation deal with them. So try, and then if you find that it works for you, then stay with it. If not, try that, compare. Okay. Okay, they talking between them. Yes, that Northeast is tricky. Do not jump for that extra $1,000. You're gonna pay, you're gonna lose it later with the tolls and losing today in transit. Okay. I'm about to sign up. Okay. That only should be sufficient. And there's anything. Okay. Mickey, you asking me from 2 different accounts? I already answered. Okay. Question is for the chat, is Anton West courses a scam? I don't know, guys. I never took his courses. I know that he has a YouTube. I don't know. So if somebody took his classes, and again, guys, I am okay with anybody who is teaching dispatch. I am not gonna call on scammers. I'm just telling. My statistics says that I have 60% of students who come to me after taking 2, 3, and sometimes 4 courses. And that's what pisses me off. Because if you really teach dispatch, if you come to me, I hope that after my class, you don't have to redo it. And I will make sure 100% that you have enough skills, information, and even extra things to read later and keep watching and learning and being on top. So, as a scam, well, I cannot call them scammers, don't really know their product, but I know a lot of disappointment people from previous classes. So, again, I'm not here to advertise that I'm the best. I already know I am the best. Look at my reviews, look at our students, look at people who came to me and been succeeding for a few years already. So I don't care about competition. So unfortunately, cannot answer. But look, here is a oh, Mickey, this lady class is awesome, by the way. And again, my previous students from April class, I'm still waiting on their reviews. And I was trying to do an extra class for free for you. But then, because you guys think you are so busy to give us honest review, I changed my mind. So Mick is gonna be the only one who is gonna get that special invitation, right? Because he was the only one who wrote the review. Again, guys, it's a joke, but I give you my 100%. I do deserve an honest review. I don't need to tell you that I was good. I don't need to tell her classes were too much or they were too pushy or whatever. Just be honest. If you learn something, then tell. If you think that it's not easy to do, then tell that it's not easy to do. If you think it was waste of money, then tell it was waste of money. If you think that it's helped you to secure that first career, then also share that. So hopefully, guys, we're gonna see those reviews on our Google and on our Facebook page. Thank you so much. Okay. Here, has her course help you get clients? Well, Mickey just finished the class and he's the first one who already got the course. So I guess he is gonna answer. Yes, the knowledge you will gain from her class will give you all the resources you need, plus some to grab careers. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, hello, our queen. Yes, we love you. Turkmenistan here. Hello, Turkmen. Thomas Good. Okay. Okay. Some comments are weird. Yes. Some of you are weird. Yes, guys. Again, we are here educational channel, so let's keep it that way, right? We're not here on TikTok. Okay. Teach us about your crystals. Again, Thomas Goodwin. I appreciate you watching and all of this, but let's keep that shit out of this life, right? Let's learn. You know me, I'm direct. I'm not gonna put up with that nonsense. Okay. Uh okay, what else? Nice that new. Miss Alice, how's the market doing now? Well, we were seeing overview. So if you join us later, make sure you go back. Market is low. It's still not changing. So it is challenging to dispatch. I really miss your classes. I miss you too, honey. I did tactical logistics review. Thank you. Worst at investment. Okay, we have a guy who took the classes. He's in Romania. Selectus is a good load board. Worth the investment, in one opinion. Yes, because it's exactly for specialty equipment. If you work with a hot shots, printers, that's why they charge, because they concentrated on that niche. Here's a good thing. Can you dispatch any equipment? Well, I suggest you to be good and maybe those box trucks, or maybe got good with drayage, right? Go to the port. Maybe you are good with the reefer. So concentrate on one type of equipment and get so good that you can charge way more. Don't try to get 5 carriers. This is a flatbed. This is a step deck. This is a box truck. This is a reefer. This is a drive and different, because you're not gonna succeed. Different market, different speculations, different details. You're gonna get lost in the process. Okay. What else? How much is your class? Our classes are $9.49. And again, people who not familiar with our website, make sure you go. We have our trainings, right? So we have all the upcoming. So we have like dispatch coming in June right now, this Saturday. Then we have webinar, only $199, how to open tracking. You don't have to pay nobody. Then we have tracking, safety and compliance, and IFTA coming up in July. We do them quarterly. You can only come for IFTA if that's what you're looking for. Then if you don't, you already know the IFTA, you want to just only safety and compliance, you can do that. And here's announcement: in August, we're going to have express dispatch training, because a lot of people don't want to spend 6 weeks and they just want to do it faster. Do I think it's going to be easier for them? Well, it depends on the students. You guys have all the reviews, and you can come and also follow us on Facebook, right? With all our reviews, read, make sure you find us. What else can you do? Well, you can also, if you are looking for factoring, I'm also agent for RTS. You can submit your application for fuel for factoring. Also, we have that load board for free for 30 days. You guys can also do that one and everything else. We have pro services, and here a lot of you, that's if you're looking for dispatch, you can apply. Or if you want to open trucking company, if you're feeling like you don't have time or you're not sure, we can do that for you. Open UMC DOT and equipment financing. Somebody was asking today. So remember, we actually have the deal with KC Financial, and you can apply for financing, and they are good guys. They're gonna catch up to you really fast, and they actually have been doing pretty good. You can finance trailers, you can finance trucks, good credit, bad credit, new company, no company. Of course, it's also gonna depend on the rates and everything else, but is it possible? Yes, it is possible. And the last comment, Roshan: we need a teacher like you more, who is caring and always share knowledge to everyone. Well, thank you, Roshan. And we also need positive people. We need people who understand that investing in their knowledge is their kind of first step to succeed. We need to make sure that we empower each other. We need to make sure that we improve industry, and we need to make sure that we get rid of the bad apples, right? Making review today. Okay, the Secretary of Freight, Laverne. Yes, Miss Laverne, I've been waiting. Just kidding. Well, guys, hopefully you learned something. For my new students, I'll see you on Saturday. You guys gonna receive the Zoom link. Hopefully you've been studying. For my previous students, please like, share, comment. Remember, for us to grow bigger on YouTube, even if you rewatch something, just put the like, ask the question. I usually answer. For my TikTokers, my dear TikTokers, well, TikTok is not a platform when I can go and do this live because I cannot share the screen. So if you really want to learn, make sure you follow us on YouTube or on the Facebook. Well, have a good day. Make sure you stay safe on the road, and let's change trucking for the better together, right? Love you
What is the
guys.
difference between pro dispatcher and a desperate dispatcher? Well, logical thinking, strong foundation, knowledge of the markets, equipment, negotiating skills, and of course, ability to put all of this together. Good pro dispatcher is like a chess player. We know when to say yes, when to say no, when to close the deal, and when to make a profit. Sign up for my class and never ever be a desperate dispatcher.